This is your WLAK Daily News Roundup for Lake Air, 107.5 FM and 1260 AM in Amory.
Civic Media News, I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. Two experts on redistricting are throwing out two proposed sets of legislative maps drawn by Republicans, but they're not endorsing any of the remaining four proposals, all drawn by Democrats, liberal groups, or university professors. The experts were hired by the state Supreme Court, which plans to redraw Wisconsin's political maps. A package of $2 billion worth of proposed tax cuts are making their way through the Wisconsin legislature. Republican Representative David Steffen told a committee hearing yesterday there's no time like now.
A time of incredible bounty here in the state of Wisconsin. In addition to our surplus, over $1.7 billion in a rainy day fund. My goodness, these are opportunities for us to do this.
Democratic Senator Kelda Roys told a committee hearing yesterday the bills benefit too many people who already have plenty.
It troubles me that at a time when we are losing young families and we're losing our best and brightest and we've got brain drain, that we're not targeting that problem. We're instead focusing on folks who, many of whom don't actually need the help.
Among other things, the bills would make retirement income tax-free and expand the state's second lowest tax bracket. Governor Evers vetoed similar tax cut proposals twice last year. Wisconsin voters will decide 99 school spending referendums this spring. 10 of the questions are on ballots in February, and 89 are on the April ballots. State School Superintendent Jill Underly tweets the sheer number of referenda in recent years is proof Wisconsin public schools are underfunded. People in rural Wisconsin are urged to learn CPR. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, and many people in small communities live a long drive from a doctor's help. Chrissy Meyer is with the American Heart Association.
Making sure that individuals, when faced with a cardiac emergency, know exactly what to do to help save the life of most likely a loved one is so important.
February is American Heart Month. Landlord-tenant issues were the number one complaint filed with Wisconsin's Consumer Protection Agency last year. More than 2,200 complaints were filed about security deposits, evictions, or bad service. Also high on the list are complaints about telemarketers, cable and phone service, and identity theft. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now, here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly. With an assist from a department drone, the Duluth Police Department has arrested a suspect in the stabbing that occurred in the Fairmont neighborhood on Thursday morning. According to law enforcement officials, the 44-year-old suspect had barricaded himself in his apartment, which allowed the department's drone unit to be deployed to help arrest him without incident. The 35-year-old victim suffered non-life-threatening stab wounds and was transported to a hospital to be treated for his injuries following the incident. The Duluth Transit Authority has announced it will be reducing bus service on weekends starting on February 18th. According to the DTA, the changes were made to keep work schedules manageable, maintain continuity of service, and give them the opportunity to recruit and train additional drivers. A full list of the changes being made is available on the Transit Authority's website. Paper schedules will be spread around the Duluth Transportation Center and other hubs, and transit apps will reflect the changes on February 18th. The Superior Fire and Police Departments are investigating a series of fires they believe were set intentionally. The fire department has reportedly responded to 4 fires at the Royalton Manor Apartments near North 19th Street and New York Avenue since late December. The fires have been small and nobody has been hurt, but authorities believe all 4 were started intentionally. In addition to investigating the potential arson, fire officials also inspected the apartments to ensure all fire protection and alarm systems are working properly. Another Essentia Health location in Duluth has filed for an election vote to join the Minnesota Nurses Association. According to a Northern News Now report, nurses at Essentia Health Duluth Clinic 2nd Street announced the decision on Thursday. Nurses at the organization's 1st Street Clinic recently voted to pursue unionization as well. Healthcare workers say they want more of a say in decisions like staffing with a growing number of patients. Essentia Health has promised to operate in good faith throughout the process. In the chaos that the unusually warm winter has caused across the Northlands, a Duluth golf course is considering opening early. According to a Northern News Now report, owner of Grandview Golf Links, Chris Klatt, says they're exploring the possibility of doing some early maintenance on the course since they haven't needed to protect the greens from the winter weather much this year. He also hopes that an early open will encourage more people to buy season passes as a good value for the longer season. A man was killed after 2 crashes in Rusk County on Wednesday. According to the Rusk County Sheriff's Office, 35-year-old Kai Rasmussen of Bruce was rear-ended on Highway 8 near Ladysmith around 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Following the crash, Rasmussen's car was disabled and the taillights were not functional. Authorities say while he and his passenger tried to push the disabled car off of the road, they were struck by another car. Rasmussen died from the injuries sustained in the second crash. Thanks to a partnership between the City of Superior and a nonprofit, residents with disabilities will have more opportunities to explore the outdoors. According to a Northern News Now report, Indigo is a nonprofit that provides support systems for people with disabilities and is helping to implement a program to bring all-terrain track chairs to events like the Lake Superior Ice Festival. The organization brought 1 chair to the Ice Festival for people to try and has received a $30,000 grant to purchase 2 more. A proposed bill in the Wisconsin state legislature could suspend antlerless hunting in northern counties for the next 4 years. The bill comes as hunters who frequent the area complain of scarce deer populations, which Department of Natural Resources officials have attributed to last year's harsh winter. Opponents of the bill say 4 years is too long to suspend hunting, and that long delay could have a broader effect on forests, plants, and other wildlife, but some opponents are still in favor of alternative deer management options. And that's what you need to know. For WLAK News, I'm James Kelly.
I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. The sun is out in full force today, and high temperatures remaining mild, but just a smidge cooler as we flirt with highs at 40 degrees. Increasing clouds this evening as we become mostly cloudy tonight. Low temperatures fall below freezing to the upper 20s, but currently it's 28 degrees.
The Brewers trade Corbin Burnes. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Milwaukee Brewers have traded their ace pitcher, Corbin Burnes, to the Baltimore Orioles in exchange for a left-handed pitcher, DJ Hall, infielder Joey Ortiz, and a future draft pick. Last February, Burnes upset with the Brewers organization after during an arbitration meeting, they blamed him for not reaching the playoffs in 2022.
Had the hearing all day Tuesday, spent Valentine's Day on a plane, got home at 10, 11 o'clock and got to see my wife before she fell asleep, so that was kind of how the Valentine's Day went, so that was fun. But yeah, like I say, you kind of find out your true value. You think you work hard for 7 years in the organization and 5 years with the big league team, and you get in there and basically they value you much different than what you thought you contributed to the organization.
We spoke with Brewers general manager Matt Arnold.
Look, anytime you trade a guy like Corbin, it's always a difficult decision. I think the overarching theme here is that we're excited about the players we're getting back. And the reality of our situation is that we had 1 year left with Corbin. I think Corbin had been pretty public about how this was going to be his last year as a Brewer. And so we felt like the opportunity to help our team right now with players like DL Hall, who was outstanding in the playoffs last year for the Orioles, a very young and major league ready Joey Ortiz that we like a lot, and a late first round pick is a very well balanced and exciting deal for us.
For now, the Brewers' number 1 pitcher in the rotation will be Freddie Peralta. Pitchers and catchers report to Arizona in less than 2 weeks. Men's college basketball, the Badgers on the road in Nebraska, the game going into overtime.
Hepburn with 7 seconds left. Chucky a deep 3. It's off the rim, no good. Gary the rebound, and Nebraska wins it in overtime by 8. And another court storm here in Lincoln as the 6th-ranked team in the country goes down.
Matt LePay on the Badgers radio network. The final, Nebraska 80, the Badgers 72. Head coach Greg Gard asked, was it the Badgers' second-half turnovers that did them in?
Yeah, that combined with bad shot selection and no play in the paint. We don't get to the free throw line, and we aren't going to get fouled when your jump shots dry up. They were going in the first half, but that's really not sustainable over the course of 40 minutes. You've got to find other ways, and specifically in the paint, to produce, and we didn't do that.
Wisconsin will host number 2 ranked Purdue at noon this Sunday. Tickets already sold out for that one at the Kohl Center. Marquette is at Georgetown Saturday at 1 o'clock. NBA, the Bucks now with back-to-back losses head to Dallas to play the Mavericks Saturday night, followed by a stop in Salt Lake City against the Utah Jazz on Sunday night. NFL, Brian Gutekunst says poor play in the secondary is partly what led to them firing Joe Barry and hiring Boston College head coach Jeff Hafley as their new defensive coordinator. The Packers GM says they will likely work on a contract extension with Jordan Love in the next few months. Gutekunst saying he was impressed with his performance the second half of last season season. When asked when did he decide Love was the Packers' next starting quarterback, Goody quipped,
"Sometime in 2019, No, no. I think you got to give Jordan a lot of credit. Handle all the things that a quarterback has to handle at the line of scrimmage and lead his football team."
That's Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Pete with the 60-second Showbiz Beat. Jon Stewart fans will be thrilled that he returns to host The Daily Show one night a week for election coverage starting February 12th. Stewart will anchor on Monday nights. Those who don't like Jon Stewart don't watch The Daily Show anyway, so nothing to see here. Award season is in full swing, and topping this year's list with 7 nominations is Sylvester Stallone's Expendables 4. Did I mention this is for the Golden Raspberry Awards, aka the Razzies, and not the Oscars? The film is up for Worst Film, Worst Supporting Actor, that would be Sly, Worst Supporting Actress, Megan Fox, and Worst Screenplay, which took 5 credited writers to achieve. On a more serious note, the movie The Beekeeper is a fantastic action film. The genre is hard to pull off without looking too cheesy. The film gets a little crazy at the end, but is a really fun watch. 2 big thumbs up. Well, medium thumbs. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, every night between 8 and 10 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
That's your WLAK Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at lakeair.radio.